To solve the pawn and queen puzzle, you have to move the pawn to the red square, but only using standard chess moves. That means you can't just jump the pawn over here. You have to always move him forward only and never backwards. But in order to do that, you have to move these pieces out of the way. Like we can move the rook over here, and then we can jump the bishop this way. Next, I can move the knight over here. Then I can jump this bishop to the top and move this rook up. Next, I can jump this bishop over here and move this rook up one piece and this pawn up one piece as well, and jump this bishop down over here. Now I can move this rook down and jump this bishop over here, move this rook up and move the pawn up as well. At this point here, I can move this knight over here and move this rook over one, and now I can move the pawn to the top. That means I actually have to promote this pawn to the red queen in order to get the red queen to the red square. Next, I can use this knight and jump over here. Then I can use this bishop and move it up top. Now I have space to move the queen over one, and I can move this knight up top. Next, I can move this rook up one. Then I can move this one down and move the queen down as well, and then I can move these two over. At this point here, I can get this bishop to move down, this rook can move over, and I can get this bishop to move up top. I can now move the rook up one and move the bishop down over here to make space for the queen. Next, I can move this piece over here and move the queen up one. Then I can jump the knight over here, moving this rook up. I can move this piece over here, and I can jump this queen over here. At this point here, I can move this rook over, this rook can move down, and I can jump this knight up to the top. That gives me the space to jump this bishop over here, and finally the queen to the red square.